Okay, so if I start talking fast, you guys just tell me to slow down. But I have a lot of information to share. So all of this information is coming from this book that I won from Nikki, actually, I forget when it was, when I got Success Club 10, you gave this away as a gift. Do you remember? Yeah, so this is the book that we're talking about tonight. He talks about all the social media platforms you can see, but we're going to focus on Facebook tonight. So Facebook, basically, for those people that aren't too tech savvy, which is me, but Facebook uses an algorithm called EdgeRank, which is how they use to deal with like all the content that goes onto Facebook. So EdgeRank, the way that Facebook uses EdgeRank is they take your post and as it receives likes, shares, comments, things like that, those are considered an edge. So the more edges that you get on your post, the more Maisie's going to start barking in like a hot second, just so you know, Freddie just got home. So the more edges that your posts get, the more visibility that your post will get, because what Facebook does is the edges create like popularity, so to speak. So for your post to get all these edges and all these likes and shares and comments, Facebook feels that it's valuable content, and that's what Facebook cares about. They don't actually care about any of us at all. They just care that their platform itself stays relevant with all the other social media noise out there. Facebook wants you to use them the most. So they're going to continue using posts that have the most value and the most content, aka, there you just heard it, the most edges. So how they use these edges is that they take these posts and they put them in your news feed based on what you interact with. So for example, when I first became a Beachbody coach, I liked every single Beachbody post that was out there. Every coach I followed, I liked, I commented, I did this. Pretty soon my news feed was all Beachbody coaches. I didn't have any of my friends in there anymore or anything, because Facebook felt that I liked that kind of content, so it just kept flooding my newsfeed with it. So, and it's not you guys, other coaches, but I stopped following, or I just kind of hid them from my newsfeed so that I would start seeing other people's posts, because I wanted to interact with those people because they're not already affiliated with Beachbody, right? These are the customers you want. These are the potential coaches that you want, the challengers. So I had to physically like make sure that I was interacting with all of these other people in order to get my news feed filled with their lives again, because that's what you want. You want to get inspiration from other Beachbody coaches, but ultimately you want to use Facebook for your business, and that is what it has become. It's become a platform for your business, right? So if anyone's just jumping on, can you make sure that you mute, or we're going to hear you crunching on your snacks there, Nicole? Anyway, okay, so where was I? Okay, so it basically uses these edges to customize things, which is great, right? So if you like, a bunch of things that have to do with decorating, you're going to start getting more posts about decorating, especially like sponsored posts and stuff. So what you want to do is create posts that will get engaged with, therefore getting more edges, right? Because for every edge you get, every like, every post, every comment, your post then climbs the news feed. So let's say you post something at 8 in the morning and someone doesn't get to it till 5 in the afternoon, that immediately pushes your post back up to the top. So what you don't want to do is create too much content in a day, because if you do that, you are edging out your own posts. So that's why I was saying in the do's and the don'ts, 3 posts a day usually are plenty, because if you hit them early morning, mid-afternoon, and little bit after dinner time when people are relaxing, you're going to, space it out a little bit. I think I'm actually down to maybe 2 posts a day now, especially if I put a good one up, because I want that one to be the one that people hit like. When they see Melissa Peterson in their newsfeed, I want that one to be the one that they hit like, because then it goes right back up to the top again. Does that make sense? Did I lose anybody yet? Am I talking too fast? So basically, the basic equation is the more engagement that you have for your stronger posts, equals a higher edge equals higher visibility. So that's what you're shooting for. You're shooting for people to interact with these posts, whether it, and if it's a Beachbody coach, that's okay. Those edges count too. It's just that you want to make sure that other people are seeing it as well. So if somebody comments on your post, so, you know, interact with that person, because and I hate saying this, but because the reply to that person is so much more convenient in like the grand scheme of things. But if you comment in the section underneath your post, you guys know what I'm talking about. If someone posts, you can reply to just that person. But now, after reviewing this material and really rereading it, I'm going to put my comments, especially if it engages the post again somehow, in my own comment, because boom, back up into the top, you know? And even if it's my own news feed, fine, you know, I don't care if it bumps it back into my own news feed. So if the comment, my suggestion there would be, if your comment doesn't relate to your post and it's just a personal comment back to the person, like, hey, you know, our kids are gonna play together this weekend, hit the little reply button. But if the comment re-engages your post content, use the big comment button, all right? So the premise of this book, right, now that we talked about the algorithm and the edges and stuff, the premise of this book is that every jab, right, is considered an edge. So the more creative, popular, engaging your posts are, the more Facebook will find you relevant and necessary to keep their platform relevant. So therefore, jabs are considered posts that create this type of relevancy and interest. All right, so they're the things that you use to lead up to your oh, that's my left. Ha! Your right hook. So you're gonna jab, 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 and then you're gonna give them the right hook, right? Oh, no, dark, thank you. Because that's, wait, now I just lost my spot. Oh, okay. So the right hook is what's considered the post where you ask someone to do something for your business, okay? So jabs can have engagement. You can ask like fun little questions and things like that, and I'll give you an example. But the right hook is where you go to say, join my challenge group. You know, I'm offering a free this or that. Like that's when you actually want them to do something other than just type on their keyboard, right? You want them to interact with you on another level. So that's the right hook. So originally when Facebook came out, marketers were using Facebook, all right hooks, right? Boom, 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 buy this, buy that, buy my blanket, buy my shirt, buy this. So, and I'll mention it a little bit later on, but that's when the sponsored posts came about, because news feeds were flooded with these, you know, posts to buy stuff all the time. So that's why they have created the sponsored posts in order to make those people work a little harder. So, because Facebook only cares about the jabs. They care about the things that create momentum on their platform. So that's why for us, and I know some people are dabbling a little bit with the sponsored posts, but for us, the jabs are free, right? All of the stuff is still free. So what we need to do, that you need, in order to keep the jabs valuable to Facebook, and keep them, pushing them into news feeds, and therefore get them more visibility, we have to make sure that we're creating fun, you know, engaging, creative, new content all the time. So how do we do this? What you want to do, the biggest thing that you want to do is know your community. You want to know the people that you are trying to hook, okay? And you want to do this by interacting with them as well. So you can put up the best post ever and think, you know, you guys gave me a bunch of them, I read them all and they were all great. But we can be putting out the best hooks ever, and if you aren't jabbing them with stuff that's relevant to their life, they're not going to interact with you. So knowing your community, giving them fresh content, telling them stories they want to hear, you know, things that are valuable to them. And remember, if you're a Beachbody coach, at this point, your social media has become your you know, weapon of choice, so to speak. You know, I actually made my Instagram public today, which makes me want to throw up from somebody that works in the school system, but I don't put personal stuff on there anymore. I don't even put pictures of me drinking really on there. Well, maybe a Bloody Mary or two at brunch, but I don't ever, it's not me partying. It's not me doing inappropriate things. Like at this point, I am putting out there the person that I want people to want to be with. So I'm not worried about it anymore. So we have to remember that about Facebook. So if you're telling stories they want to hear, we're not telling these wah-wah like, oh, you know, life sucks. This is horrible. We're not. And I guess I'm going to use this a little loosely because we got all age groups in here. You want to also make sure you're using language and like colloquialisms that your people are going to get, you know. I started toying with the here, like the thing that all these little millennials use and stuff with the multiple R's and stuff. And I think my mom was like, did your computer break? Like, how come you have so many R's? And I was like, oh, I'm a little out of my zone there. I'm 45. I can't be typing like that. So anyway, you want to make sure that your stories and your language and stuff are matching the people that you're trying to hook, right? You want to, in the end, and, you know, this is one thing I really like about him because he says it through everything. You want to make sure that they feel like you get them. And that's the kind of content that you want to be putting out there. So here's a quick example. I wrote this really great one at school. And, of course, I left it at school. So bear with me. I came up with this one this afternoon. So let's say you're trying to promote the 21-day fix, right? So your first jab could be a post of, hey, do you know that it takes 21 days to make or break a habit? What was the last habit you worked on? I'm kicking my peanut butter habit. I actually used this one at one point, and it was like me, like gouging a big thing of peanut butter in my mouth, right? So what are people going to do? They're going to interact. They're going to be like, oh, Melissa, don't worry, you know, peanut butter is good for you. Or have you tried PB2? Or I love peanut butter also. Like all they're going to do is talk about peanut butter. You didn't ask them anything else. You just asked them about that and you gave them something to relate to, right? Second jab. Where's the best place to hear the word or to hear the number yelled? 21. And then for those of you that get it right, I'll send you a funny emoji or something like that. Just something silly, right? So everyone's going to write Vegas or blackjack table or whatever, right? So all you did was talk about 21. That's it. You didn't mention anything about them buying anything. Third jab, right? Remember when you turned 21? Well, for me, that was X number of years ago. And man, have things changed. And then you could type a few healthy things you've done. I think Meredith did a good one before about what Sunday mornings look like now or something like that. But you could talk about some healthy changes you've made since you were 21. And then ask them like what changes maybe they've made since they were 21 or a fun memory from when they were 21, right? So here comes your hook. Thank goodness, all right, I gotta read this one. Thank goodness it only takes 21 days to create some great consistency because my 21-day fix challenge group jumps off on 3/14. So for anyone that needs some positive fixing, this is it. You may not be able to party like a 21-year-old in Vegas, but you'll feel like you are and way healthier. So in doing this, you've created this like momentum for all these people that have engaged and because they've engaged with you and because they've given you an edge, that post goes in their newsfeed. Does that make sense? So it doesn't necessarily guarantee that they will join your group, but they're going to see that post because they've engaged with you on other posts. See what I mean? Does that make sense? Okay. So basically the percentages that Gary talks about, and he said, if Facebook feels people care about you, and AKA your product, this hook will go to 4% of your friends or your audience instead of the usual 0.5%. That's huge. Like 4% of the people instead of 0.5%, that's a big jump in the amount of people that are going to see your, you know, call to action kind of thing. So by creating this like momentum, creating this momentum and engagement before landing the major call to action is like the huge thing to do. And again, this is all like free advertising, you know? Nikki, are you answering those things for me? Yeah, so I'm going to use my post as an example of timing and spacing for a jab, right hook. So that'll make more sense. Yeah, that's exactly right. What Nikki said. You want to stagger them out a little bit. You don't want to do 1, 2, 3 in a day and then that. So maybe you post about those fun 21 jabs like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but also you put a post up later on that night about eating or something like that. You know, you don't have to like go Facebook silent and wait for your edges to come in, but you definitely want to like build up to something. So real quick, the sponsored stories, and he doesn't go into a ton of detail, and I don't want to tell you guys anything that isn't accurate, but basically a sponsored story is just a way to get an extended reach of a targeting audience. But again, even though you've paid for it, once people stop engaging with it, it dies a natural death. Like Facebook won't, I don't know what Nicole's doing, but all I can see are her fingers. Can you guys see that? Anyway, so yeah, so your sponsored post, there we are, there she is. No matter what your post is, no matter how much you paid for it, once they stop engaging with it, then then it just goes away. It just stops doing it. So maybe at some point, anybody in here that's used sponsored post could just give like a talk on it or whatever. But ultimately, and we're gonna go into the post now after this. I've talked for a while, but ultimately you want to look at Facebook, the way that they use it as like, they give you like an automatic, it's like an automatic crap filter basically for your posts. They weed out the stuff that you put out there that's crap, because it doesn't get engaged with, so therefore it stays on your timeline, but it stops showing up in people's things. So if you're wondering what works, review your posts that got a lot of traction. Like, look at the things that people are engaging with. Look at the language you use. What did the picture look like? What were you asking them, you know? What did you engage back with the people? Did somebody post and they got crickets? You know, go back through your posts that really got some good, powerful edging, and use that as a way to kind of like keep yourself relevant, right? Because in the end, Facebook determines what is interesting, again, in order for them to stay relevant. So if you create these fun new jabs and keep yourself relevant, then they are going to put you in a prime position for your right hooks. All right? Like, make sure what you do works for you, but make sure it works for Facebook too. So, did I talk too fast? Does anyone, should we just go right into the pictures? All right, so let me see how I'm gonna do this here. What?
I was gonna say, maybe see if there's like any questions.
I have a really quick question. So when you were saying like about like 21 Day Fit, 21, using 21 and using habit, like, is that what works? Like, is it the common words? Is that why you were saying like 21?
No, I like I said, I came up with that in about 15 minutes because I left my thing at work. My other one was better.
Yeah.
But I thought it was just like, it was a fun way to keep that number in somebody's mind, you know?
Oh, okay. All right. I was just curious if it had anything to do with.
No. It was more just like a gimmick, you know?
I wasn't sure if the algorithm, it had something to do with like linguistics or something crazy.
Oh God, no. But what it does have to do with is, let's say somebody liked your peanut butter post, and then the next day they saw your 21 day, like, where's it fun? They may like engage with you again because they're like, ooh, a 21 game again, or so, you know what I mean? Like, I was just using it like kind of a gimmicky thing, but you'll see,
like any post will come back up in their newsfeed. Got it. Thanks.
Exactly. So you'll see what I mean by that when I'll show you why I picked the post that I did, because I did my jabs all wrong. So any other questions? No? All right. Let me share the screen then. Where's my screen share thing? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So, all right. Am I doing this right? Can you guys see that?
Looks good.
Looks good? Okay. All right. So we're going to start. The magic of Facebook. All right, so here's my first one just to show you guys. So the reason I picked this is because I was like super pumped that I made that much in a year, right? So I did this sharing and I was like, look at me, and like spilling my guts for everybody. This is going to be amazing. Yeah, crickets. And it's because I hooked way too many times that week. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I put up a great post about the coaching opportunity, and then I forget what I did the day before, but man, I hooked like a million times that week, and I don't know why I did it. I should have saved this post for this week because I put 2 jabs up already, like my freaking.
Hang on, Melissa, it's the wrong screen. Sorry. You just make sure that you put because it just has the Zoom screen on, but you screen shared correctly.
All right, so how come?
If you click screen share, does it give you options for different pages? There you go.
All right, hold on. Okay, yeah, here we go. Is that better?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. All right, let me put that back up. Get rid of that. How do I get rid of that? Go away. How? Go away. There we go. All right. Okay. So sorry. So you guys will see, like, going back, basically just whatever I just said. So there was what I made. So this week I posted about having enough money to buy that freaking super cute Kate Spade crossbody for $100. And then today I posted about Freddie and I going to the financial planner, right? So here's me talking about 2 good jabs about money, and boom, this would have been my right hook. So it was a good post, but just poorly timed, you know? And I think that if I went back through, I would, you know, have saved that. And I should have saved it, but I was so excited that when it came in the mail, I was like, this is my post tomorrow. And that was just dumb. So anyway, so that's that one. All right. So I don't know what order I got these in. Oh, Heather's up next. Is she on the call? So unmute yourself if it's you. Is she on the call? I can't tell.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, you are? Okay, I can't see your face. All right. So what about the 2 questions? What did you think about your post? Why did you like it?
So I think this one probably only got like 12 likes, and I don't think it got any comments. So, you know, I think it's always good to post a picture of yourself versus just, you know, together we are stronger. Because I feel like that's something that we've all learned is kind of something that people will stop on. And I liked this one. Let me just read it again. So it just talked about what I'm doing. So if somebody just clicks onto my page for the first time, they see that I, for example, sign on coaches. That we're building business through feeling good about ourselves. I just felt like it was kind of like a good little happy, easy, not too lengthy post, and kind of kept it light and just said you can improve your nutrition and fitness and get paid, and I got nothing.
So where do you think it missed the mark if you think about like the do's and don'ts page and then like stuff we just talked about?
You know, I'll have to look back. I wonder if it's similar to what you had done, because I have been kind of ramping it up more and posting more right hooks. So I wonder if that might have been it. Maybe it was the timing.
Yeah, just maybe too much. And the only thing I was thinking about it too is that if somebody read it, is it a public post?
Yes.
So there's nowhere in there that mentions what a coach, like what are you a coach for? You know what I mean? So sometimes brand recognition like is good too. He was saying that, you know, so we, you know, if me, that was the only thing I thought, that maybe like somewhere in there talking about being a Beachbody coach, and then people would know what Beachbody is, you know? Yeah. But that was the only thing I thought, but and I'm not an expert by any means, but just from his book, he talks a million times. The cool thing about his book is he gives all these great examples of like different companies and stuff, so you can read what he's talking about. And he talks about your logo and your brand all the time. Like, make sure people know what you're talking about and who you represent. You know, so it's cool. He gives you all these good examples of stuff. So, all right, who's up next? Stacy, are you on? She had a game in New Bedford, so she wasn't sure if she was going to be here.
Yep, I'm here.
All right.
I made it.
What did you like, or why did you think it would do well?
I thought it would do well because it had the family picture and kind of said a little bit about what I was doing, but I don't think there was enough emotion. I think I needed to maybe get a little more personal story. And I only say that because since then I had a post that did awesome.
Yeah.
And I had really given a lot of personal information in that one. So it wasn't until I could compare it to that one that I realized this one just wasn't enough, maybe.
Yeah. So this one was probably more of a jab than an actual hook then too, you know?
Maybe. And maybe that's why the other one did so well, because I was looking at this as a hook, but now that I hear what you're saying, it's more like a jab.
Yeah, which is great because the few people that liked it or interacted with it would get all your other stuff, you know, in their news feed too. So it's
Right.
not, and I agree with you about the picture. I think if you use that picture again, I think that could be like a great one about one of your whys, like why you started doing this, you know, and you did
Right.
it for, you know, the kids and to be here for, you know what I mean? Like that is a good picture. I agree with you. All right.
And I have a bigger picture that when I'm braver, I'll do the whole thing.
I got a couple of those lying around for sure. All right.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Heather. Is she on? I know she's on. I saw her face.
Hi.
There you are.
I was unmuting.
So this was one you posted that was a repost from your challenge group, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I can't remember.
Yeah, like here's an example of a couple of the posts in my team's February challenge group.
Yes. So that was the challenge group, and I woke up that morning thinking that this was like the most genius post ever. I'm like, I'm going to post pictures of how the challenge group is going and what we're doing to motivate each other, and post a picture of me working out, and post a picture of the meal I made that night. And I thought it was like the most genius thing ever. And I got 2 likes.
Oh.
And I was like horrified. I actually like went on that night and thought that maybe my notifications and my setting was on private. So I'm like, oh, I must have had my settings on wrong. Nope, it was public. So now looking back and reading it, I see that the problem was I sounded very salesy in it, and I think that's why.
Sorry, Heather. Hold on. I got to get that thing off my screen. It won't go anywhere. Wait, are you guys back? Oh.
Yep.
Why won't it do anything? Is it showing you guys Heather's post?
It's showing I see Stacy's post.
Oh my gosh. All right. I'm sorry. It's like it won't let me do anything because it says I have to upgrade. Like now it will only do that. Shoot. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So now that I'm looking back and reading it, I think it's because it was just I was too salesy, and I think that's why no one was like engaged in it, because they're probably like, whatever. We don't care. We don't want to hear about that. It wasn't. There was no emotion there.
Yeah.
So I think that was the problem.
And one of the things he mentions in the book is don't use the same content in your pictures as you use in your posts. So I think that might be another comment about that too, because you have the February challenge picture twice. So maybe that was another thing too, you know, that his whole thing is if you put it in the picture, why put it in the post and vice versa type thing. So, all right, we only got 8 minutes, so I'm going to keep going. Thank you. All right, Caitlin, you and your yogurt.
Yeah, that was, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what happened with this one. But it was also clearly a holiday, so I think that had a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
But that was, terrible. I got 10 likes. But it was supposed to be my one of my jabs about how I like sitting here helping others, but everybody was probably out having a good time.
Yeah. And I can't believe you didn't get more likes just because you're pregnant. You should have been like, oh, and pregnant eating a yogurt.
I've noticed, yeah, if it's me pregnant or my dog, immediately tons of likes, easy. So I have to just keep working that in there.
I hear you. Maisie and Freddie get way more likes than I did. That's why I make him take pictures even though he hates it. All right.
Um,
Next. Michelle. She on? No? All right, we can come back to it. Is she on? I don't know. All right, we'll come back to it if she's on here. Let's do Sue. Are you on? I think she was out at a Mexican restaurant earlier, so I'm not sure if she's on the call.
I'm here.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I'm here.
All right, so what did you like, or why did you think it would do well, and where do you think it missed the mark?
I'm not sure because like I put a lot of time and thought into it. Sometimes I look at how much time, like when I started writing my post to the time I finished writing my post, and I'm like, that just like took me like 20 minutes to like reword, read whatever. And I thought that like it was part of like growing my brand, because I'm like good at quotes and using my Reiki and using my spirituality into it. But I don't know. I mean, I did have to scroll back because a lot of my posts have been getting a lot of good traction.
Well, that's good then. So maybe it was more of a jab than a right hook, you know?
I mean, I really did have to go back to find one that didn't have a lot, you know, like 20 or less likes.
Good.
So, I mean, not that I'm, you know, obviously signing up a ton of people, but like I did have to scroll back quite a far bit back. And then I was like, okay, I don't know why this one, but, you know, like Kaylin said, you know, it could have just been bad timing.
Mm-hmm. Or you're getting really good at knowing your community. So what you think is a right hook has become a jab for you too, you know?
Yeah. And I think like the challenge group thing, now that I've got a few people in the challenge groups, now that they know what it's about, I think if we can get more people in there and they can see what it's about, it's not as scary as they think. So when we're like putting these posts out there about like, hey, you know, join our groups, I think that they're just like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. And then the people that we actually do sign and put them in there, they get in there and they're like, oh, this isn't so scary. So I think maybe there's a way to find a more less scary, inviting way. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure because I didn't think the post was like that bad.
No, and this isn't, I hope nobody thinks this is about like bad versus good. It's more just like in reference to the information shared. So that's why I was trying to say to you, maybe because your brand is getting, your branding for you is getting better, this in the past would have been more of a hook, and now maybe it's just more of a like an awareness one, and then you built up momentum. So all right, Chica, I'm gonna move on because we only got 4
okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Out. All right, Amy, are you on?
Yes.
All right.
I'm here.
All right, so this was your very first post, I think, right?
Yeah. It's like not super beach body, just like a little bit.
But that's a great jab for you. Like, that's what I was thinking about this. This was a great jab because it was your first intro and you didn't like slap people in the face with it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to go like full force because I feel like some of my friends would be like, whoa, like just coming in gangbusters, you know. I figured I would like just be subtle.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's good, and you got a lot of traction on it, right?
Yeah, I did.
And I'm pretty sure I've never seen anyone in Beachbody use Ice Cube in one of their posts. rolling with his 40 there. Oh God. All right. Well, cool. Let's see who's up next. Casey. She on? All right, I'm gonna keep going just in case, so we can just make sure anyone who's on here. Ashley.
Hi, I'm here.
All right.
So, being brand new, I don't really have too many posts yet, but this was one of my first ones showing exactly what I'm doing. I didn't get, I mean, I got, I think like 11 likes, I guess, but I don't really have too many posts to go on yet. So just wanted to get some feedback. I'm having trouble kind of coming out of my shell. So it's taking a little bit of time.
One of the things I think that he probably would have said, oh boy, we have less than a minute. One of the things I think that he would have said was that maybe people don't understand what pharmacy survival 101 would mean. You know what I mean? So maybe just more content would have been good.
Okay.
You know, or like what, you know, just what that means, like elaborate so people know what you meant by that. Is that, you know, like something funny about that? I think that's probably all he would have said, because it's a nice picture and it's really like bright and stuff. So that's probably that would probably be the feedback about that, is people not knowing what that meant, you know?
Okay.
So I feel bad that this is going to run out. So maybe I'll just put this in the thing, or Nikki, I don't know if you want to like start with this next week so we can finish the rest of them.
Yeah, let's do that, because I feel like you still have a couple more people, right?
Yeah, there's like 5 more.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's continue it, because I think this is really good content and it's really helpful. And I feel like people might even have questions to go back to. And like, I know I had a couple of notes that I could like just like build on from things too.
Okay.
So let's do that if you don't mind, though.
No, that's fine.
And then I know Heather Sherry has been like anxiously awaiting, aka I'm anxiously waiting for her to lead a call too.
We can do ours the following week if you want to continue this. That's totally fine.
Would that work for you? I was just going to say that.
Yeah, we're fine with that. More time to put more stuff together.
That's perfect. Because yeah, I think that if I want to make sure everyone gets their share, and then